Hey people, thank you for joining me. We're in a journey through the book of Colossians, and we're only just begun. We're in the second one. I'm on the second verse of the first chapter, and it says this: to the holy and faithful brothers in Christ at Colossae. To the holy and faithful. Those are two characteristics that should be named of every believer. And it's an individual thing, holy and faithful. Holy simply means that we've been set apart for the purpose and the will of God. We said that yesterday. But there's something about the depth of holiness that we sometimes lose the meaning of. God is holy. He is set apart. There's no one like him. No one can stand on the same stage as him. He stands, and he stands alone. Now, when we talk about the holiness of our man, of who we are, it comes because God is holy. And his will is that we should become holy through salvation, through his redemptive plan, that God sets us apart. It doesn't mean that we're behaviorally perfect. No, not at all. Otherwise, none of us is going to be holy because we mess up all the time. Or I do anyway. But holiness is not just necessarily behavioral perfection. It is, however, a standing that we have with Christ. It's a position we hold in Christ, that we are his. We are set apart for his purpose, for his kingdom, to do his will in this his world. And you say, is that it? Well, pretty much so. Everything revolves around the sovereignty and the will of God. We said that yesterday. But now we have to respond to that will by saying, if God is holy and he has set me aside to be holy, that means I don't allow anything else to make me what I'm not. I won't allow sin to master me. I won't allow bad attitudes or heresy to master me. I will get to know God so much better. Now, when you look later on in the passage, I'm looking forward to getting there, there's a lot of talk about the knowledge of God. It's not talking about the knowledge of God in the sense that I have some academic facts about God that I kind of know. It's about knowing him personally. I know him. I know his reputation, I know his name, I know his heart, and I know his character. I know him. I don't just know about him. And for so many people, the knowledge of God is just that. How much do you know about God? How much of the Bible can you quote? What kind of facts do you know? Well, that's fine, to a certain extent. But if that's all your knowledge of God goes by, you've missed the point completely. Knowledge of God is not so much the facts we know about him, but is the knowledge of who he is in relationship to who we are. And when we understand the depth of that relationship, the wonder of your and my holiness comes to the fore. Where the wonder of being used by God, the wonder of fulfilling God's purpose, the wonder of putting God first in our lives above everything else because we know him. God will never settle for second place. You know that as well. God is not happy with second place. He's not going to play second fiddle to any of your stuff. He's not going to play second fiddle to any nasty habit you have. He's not going to play second fiddle to any other little God with a little G. He's not going to play second fiddle to that. In order for God to be holy, you need to be totally set apart. I hope that you will begin to understand what this set apartness means. But he says that one of the criteria of holiness is the link between holy and faithful. Holy people who are set apart for God are faithful to God. The major characteristic for holiness is simply, I'm faithful to him. Love him. I serve him. I will serve no other master. I belong to him. And I am totally dedicated to his call and to his cause and his kingdom. That's what holiness and being set apart is, characterized by a deep, selfless commitment to be faithful to Christ and him only. See you tomorrow.